Hey there everyone, welcome to Violet's Dream Tarot. This is going to be the general September predictions reading, so not focused on any particular area of your life, but just seeing what September will bring for you, what is coming towards you in this month. I'd like to apologize for posting this one so late. Please do accept my apologies on that regard. I know that we're basically a week into September already. And I'm very sorry to be posting it late. Things were just quite busy on my end, and then I had a particularly large order rush of private readings in my Etsy shop, so that meant that I wanted to make sure that I got that queue cleared so no one was waiting a really long time for their private reading. So yeah, things have just been a bit busy on my end, and I hope this will still be helpful. Obviously the vast majority of the month is still left, and there might be some things here that can give you guidance as to things that are already starting to take place or have already happened potentially in the first few days of the month. As you can see, I have redecorated for autumn. So the tarot mat is decorated already. You're joining me today on a very rainy, dark, wet British day, so we're definitely already in autumn over here. Which I don't mind because it is my favourite season, but we've definitely gone quite intensely into autumn straight away. I tend to change over my seasonal decorations around the start of the month in March, June, September and December. And they don't always make it to my tarot mat, but just my home in general. So that's what I've done already. And yeah, so let's take a look at the cards more closely. So you've got 3 different piles to choose from today, 3 different tarot decks. We'll be using tarot and oracle cards, charms and dice like we always do on this channel. So if you're new, there's various different media that we use in each reading on this channel just to get more messages for you. So let's take a closer look at each pile. So just think to yourself, what's coming up for me in September, or what can I expect in the month ahead, or what energy is surrounding me in September, just something along those lines. So group 1, you have the Broomstick Witch, number 25, and you've got the Ramses Tarot, Egyptian themed tarot deck. As always, I didn't choose these cards, I shuffled for them so they could have a meaning specific to your reading. So Broomstick Witch and the Ramses Tarot on pile 1. Then pile 2, it's a little bit early, but the Halloween Witch came out for pile 2, number 12. We still haven't had Mabon yet, for those of you celebrating this month. Mabon is the autumn equinox, for those who don't know. We've got the Neopets Tarot with group 2. And then group 3 has the Wickedest Witch, number 11, and the Everyday Witch Tarot. It's a very witchy theme for that particular pile. And those are your piles. So you can pause the video if you want to just stare at the cards a bit longer. You can also go back to the start of the video if you want to watch the close-up section again. Take as much time as you need, but don't overthink it. Just maybe take a deep breath, close your eyes, and then have a look and see which pile is drawing you in. It's fine to choose more than one if you really can't pick. There might be messages for you in each. And as always, just take what resonates and leave what doesn't, because this isn't a private reading. It is a general pick a card on YouTube. So there might be a few things in your reading that don't quite seem to sit with you. And that's completely fine. You can just let them go with love, because they will be for another lovely soul who's watching today. I want to say a big thank you to all of my lovely subscribers and to all of my lovely patrons as well, including the lovely Kelly. Thank you for all of your support. You all mean a lot to me, and you've really supported me to be able to do this work and to offer it to the audience that I have. So thank you so much again to everyone who is a subscriber, everyone who is a client for private readings and healing sessions, everyone who's a patron or has been, everyone who leaves a comment likes, shares, etc. You all contribute to this community and the support and success of what I do. So thank you very much. And when you are ready, I will get started with pile number 1. Hi there, Group 1. Welcome to your reading. For those of you who chose the Broomstick Witch, number 25, this is your general predictions reading for September. So I'll just put that one there. I hope you're enjoying the autumn decorations that I have out. So we're using the Ramses Tarot for you today, this Egyptian themed deck. The Broomstick Witch is making me think of flying high, success, setting your ambitions or your sights high. Also making me think of travel. Maybe some of you are going on a trip or planning a trip. Let's see what your tarot cards have to say. Group 1, September. Okay, so you have 7 of Pentacles. Then you have 6 of Wands. And then 3 of Cups. Okay, that seems fairly balanced, like different suits there. Getting the sense that September might be a month that starts off a little bit slowly for you. You might feel as though nothing really happens to begin with. Or you're very focused on achieving a particular thing and working towards it, waiting for maybe a particular date to come along or a particular milestone to happen. Maybe you have an event planned that's like in the middle of the month or something and you're just waiting for that to come about. 6 of Wands is really lovely because that indicates success. So we did mention with the Broomstick Witch that you might have some kind of goal you're trying to achieve, like setting your sights high. And I also got the sense of flying high to do with success. So yes, you might be having some sense of achievement in September. I kind of get the feeling, like I keep hearing the word milestone. So I think a lot of you are, if you're not achieving the end result of a goal, you're at least achieving something significant along the way. And the 3 of Cups indicates opportunities for socializing, possibly making new friends or spending time with existing friends, relaxing, letting your hair down a little bit, not worrying so much about how you seem to other people. There's something there, and especially in this image as well of the nursing mother, there's something here about just living in the moment and not really caring about, the situation. Like she's got a rake here just standing idly beside her, suggests she maybe hasn't been cleaning up recently, or that's maybe something that she's been stopped in the middle of because the baby needs feeding. She has an older child there that's drinking some water. And she seems very relaxed and not really caring about anyone else. She's not looking at us. She's focused on her child. So it seems like you might be giving yourself permission or having certain opportunities in September where you can just relax and, not worry about how you sound or seem or appear to other people. Pink Lotus Faerie, A Time for Spirit, number 43. So quite a spiritual month. Maybe you are taking time to meditate. Maybe you are trying to build up a spiritual practice in this month. Maybe you previously were someone who prayed a lot, meditated a lot, did yoga or other mindfulness practices. Maybe you were involved in spell work, went to lots of spiritual events or went to church or temple. And that's something that's fallen by the wayside for you. And so September is a month when you're able to get back into it again. For others, you're just exploring this time. Into the unknown, number 7. Interesting. Yeah, because we have this message here about waiting for something to happen. And then we spoke about possibly not caring what people think, not worrying what people are thinking about you. Then I mentioned exploring spiritually. So lots of realizations, lots of things that you're learning in September. You might be looking to join a group of like-minded people. You might be seeking out, hobby groups, evening classes, or a more spiritual community that enables you to learn things and try things that you haven't done before, meet new people. You have the thinking man, number 46. This could represent you or someone important in this month. 4th chakra, Archangel Raphael, number 38. That's the heart chakra. So heart chakra healing, love and compassion for others. The woman in this 7 of Pentacles card is giving. Giving to a beggar, giving to the needy, giving to those less well off than herself. Just an unusual way of interpreting the 7 of Pentacles. So you might be doing something to show you care for others, helping other people out. It is actually Mabon in September. So for those of you who follow the Wheel of the Year, that's autumn equinox, that's harvest festival, kind of crossed with Thanksgiving in terms of the themes that it brings about. So it's always a time when I donate food or money to food charities. So that might be something that is coming up for you, especially if you're exploring and this is like the first year that you're following something like that. And it seems very significant for you in this month. Fourth chakra is also about connecting with others, and you have the 3 of Cups. So I definitely think you're going to be building and improving relationships in this month, spending time with loved ones, people you care about. Maybe the thinking man is one of those people. Dandelion, wishes. Lovely card. Okay. Making a wish, seeing the fulfillment of a wish. I think this fits quite nicely with your 6 of Wands, your milestone card. Achieving something that you've been working towards. A wish coming true. Be real. Full moon in Aquarius. It feels like a month in which you're very focused, group 1, and that you're kind of working towards a specific goal or outcome. Seems quite peaceful, quite calm. Lots of realizations and learning, but I'm not really seeing much in the way of drama or conflict. Increase, number 3. You might be increasing this realisticness or authenticity, being genuine. Develop your skills. Absolutely. So, as I said, some of you are going to classes or you are joining hobby groups. You're learning something. Even if it's something that you have done in the past, you're honing those skills more. Or you're picking them back up again after feeling quite rusty. The woman, number 29, Venus. There's the heart again, the Venus. Very connected to the heart chakra, heart healing. Love and compassion, self-love as well. Powerful feminine energy. It's interesting how you have both a woman and a man present in your reading now. Some of you are really connecting with a partner, or perhaps finding a new romantic partner, opening up to the idea of that. For some of you, this is about healing and balancing the masculine and feminine energies within yourself. Rapunzel. This is the Tower. Rapunzel, so changing your perspective on something, seeing things differently, coming out of isolation as well, if we think of how that's being portrayed. Coming out of isolation, finding community, interacting with the world around you, perhaps through these focused, targeted groups that we mentioned, like hobby groups, evening classes, spiritual groups or communities. Also have Guide of Hearts, which is the Queen of Cups, and in this deck it's what's her name, Glinda from The Wizard of Oz, like a fairy godmother kind of vibe, setting you free perhaps from the tower, that sense of isolation, disappearing, granting a wish as well. I hadn't thought of that. The dandelion card, a wish being granted. Maybe you're being watched over by someone kind at this time. Maybe that's the feminine or the thinking man. Really interesting group one. Let's look at your charms and dice now and see what they can tell us. So for those of you who are watching for the first time, I pull charms from this charm tin, and then we select from one of 10 different boxes of dice that I have that all have different themes, and we roll them. So we'll do your charms first. Oh, wow, you got the shooting star. A wish coming true, a wish being granted. Wow, that's amazing. Lovely. You also have Taurus here. So that's a zodiac sign. Could be a strong Taurus energy in your life right now. That could be you or another person who has a strong Taurus sign. You've got this bit of broken charm here. This one used to be an explosion charm, and it meant something happening very suddenly, so you can take that on board or not. No matter how many of these pieces I seem to pick out of the tin, there always seem to be 50 more. So I think it's just going to be there forever. You have the little blue pumpkin, which is a autumn time marker. I mean, obviously we are in autumn in the Northern Hemisphere if you're watching for September, so could just be that you're getting into the autumn mood perhaps, or if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, this can relate to something that happened in the previous autumn, or perhaps making plans for the future autumn. That's always how I interpret the timing markers, is that something is affecting you now that happened in or started in that previous time, or perhaps you're making plans that will affect that coming season. So I always look at it as either a previous or future. What else do we have? You've got the cupcake, treating yourself, looking after yourself. This might be, because it's landing on the 3 of Cups, it might be to do with this thing about don't care what other people think. So maybe you're letting yourself Have some treats in this month, whether it is food and drink related or whether it's just, completely separate, where you're not worried or not caring what people think. Maybe you're buying that expensive outfit and not caring what people will think about, oh my goodness, how can you spend all that money on just some clothes? Like, you're treating yourself. It's that kind of vibe that I'm getting, that you're allowing yourself to do something in September where you're, for once, not taking into consideration other people's opinions. And that's lovely. You have the octopus, and that one is landing on develop your skills. The octopus is a symbol of juggling lots of things, having lots of things going on at the same time. Could be lots of deadlines, could be just lots of stuff happening at once. Also makes me think of having fingers in many pies, so that could refer to being very skilled or interested in lots of different things. Maybe you know that you want to get involved in some kind of group or learn something, but you're just not sure what, because there are so many things that interest you. It's hard to choose, and you don't have unlimited time, unfortunately. Have the black swan here, which is a symbol of your uniqueness, your personality, everything that makes you special and makes you you. You've got the pram, which is symbol of long-term plans, which is interesting because I did mention, I kind of picked up at the start of the reading that many of you have been working towards something for quite a long time, and September represents a milestone achievement, but it's not necessarily the achievement of the ultimate goal. It's just something towards that shows you that you're getting there. So still having an eye on the long term, what you ultimately want to achieve, seems to be making sense to many of you in September. And then you have one charm landing on top of another. So the crocodile was on top of the lobster. Now the crocodile represents someone who is vindictive or nasty, or someone who is just acting purely for their own purposes. Like, they might suggest something, but it doesn't mean that they are suggesting it out of the goodness of their own heart or because they have your best interests at heart. Like, they have some kind of ulterior motive. It's somehow going to benefit them. And the lobster represents someone who is hardy, sturdy, who can get through difficult times. So I find it interesting that it's on this Rapunzel card, because you can see, who is it? Rapunzel's, not stepmother, not godmother. It's a woman who steals her away, isn't it? It's like a witch who takes her away as a baby. You can see her here, like, pulling on Rapunzel's hair. So maybe this is representing the crocodile. Maybe you are the lobster. Maybe there is someone who is going to try and hold you back in September, like keep you in your box, in your tower, while you're trying to expand. You're trying to do these different things and connect with different people. Maybe there's someone who's jealous and worries that you won't have as much time for them anymore, doesn't want you to grow and expand, wants to keep you small or as small as possible, because that makes them feel better. So just be aware that there's maybe someone in your life who doesn't necessarily have your best interests at heart. Even if they love you and care about you, they might be making suggestions to you or trying to put you off doing something because, they are jealous of what might happen, or they don't want anything to change. Yeah, just be aware of that, group one. There's possibly someone that may act in that way, and it's best for you to just do what feels right for you. You have the strength to get through the situation. So let's look at your dice finally, group one. Okay, so we will roll the 6th set of dice. Those ones are the Voyager's dice, which is funny because you got the Broomstick Witch flying, so maybe there is a trip that you're going on. Or maybe it's more abstract and to do with you expanding and growing and moving forward on your journey. even if it doesn't mean that you're going anywhere in a geographical sense. So, group 1. Okay, so we are going to roll 3 of the Voyager's dice for you, group 1. Okay, so you have the shield. This represents defense, protecting yourself, taking care of yourself, protecting your energy, possibly. You might be giving to others, but there's only so much that you can give. Like, you can't just keep on giving and giving, because then you have nothing left to for yourself, and you have nothing left to kind of, replenish it with. So protecting yourself, defending yourself. The laser gun, this also makes me think of like banishing something, or perhaps someone from your life. Choosing to rid yourself of unhealthy habits, or a routine that's no longer working for you. You want to shake things up. You want to eliminate what is stagnant or holding you back in some way. You want to sort of zap it and get rid of it. And then the backpack. This makes me think about being prepared and sort of having everything you need. Having everything you need to get going, to get somewhere, to achieve something. I think you should be really confident in yourself in this month, group 1. It really feels as though you have the strength and the stamina to get through any difficulties that you might face. And at the same time, you've also got the talent and the skills and the desire to develop them even further to achieve what it is that you are aiming for. So hopefully that's very encouraging, because I do see wonderful things for you in this month. Just be aware of the people that perhaps aren't supporting you in the way that you hope they would. But yeah, otherwise, like, great achievements, real spiritual development, opportunities for healing, giving to others, relaxing, spending time with people that you value, learning and developing skills. Wonderful. So I hope you enjoyed this reading, group 1. I would love to hear in the comments how it resonated with you. Please do like, share, subscribe if you enjoyed this reading. It means an awful lot to me and massively helps out my channel here on YouTube. It means I can continue offering these readings here. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Wonderful September ahead. I'm so sorry again that this reading took me so long to post. And thank you for your patience with it, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye. Hi there, group 2. Welcome to your reading for those of you who chose the Halloween Witch. Group 2, the Neopets Tarot. This one is for you. So this is your general predictions reading for September. When I think about the Halloween Witch, maybe you guys are already making plans for Halloween. Maybe you're already looking forward to that time. Equally, maybe you're just really getting into the autumnal mood. As I mentioned in the intro, I've obviously done the autumn decorating for my tarot mat. I decorate for each of the seasons throughout my home. I follow the wheel of the year, so basically on around the 1st of the month in March, June, September and December, I do the changeover of seasonal decorations. In the days leading up to that, I do a deep clean of my home as well, so I'm not bringing any unwanted energies into the new season. And then throughout the season, I add additional decorations for each of the holidays. So before Halloween, there is actually Mabon in the Wheel of the Year. That's in September, so some of you may be celebrating that. But equally also really looking forward to Halloween or Samhain, perhaps. I know a lot of people find that a really special holiday. Their very favourite out of all of them. So yeah, it feels like those of you who've chosen this pile are maybe really big fans of autumn, or just really in tune with nature and the seasons right now. That might be something you're really feeling quite prominently in September, that you're very in touch with the changing seasons and the natural world. Maybe also the lunar cycles, astrological transits are really speaking to you right now. Group 2, let's see what is coming up for you in September. So as I mentioned in the intro, we've got tarot cards, oracle cards, charms, and dice. So plenty to get through, as always, on this channel. Thank you for being here. Okay. So, group 2, your first card here was the High Priestess. Very spiritual opening to your reading. She's also wearing a witch's hat. 2 of Cups. 9 of Wands. And the Fool. Interesting, very mixed cards here, like lots of different types of energy showing up for September. Feels as though September is possibly quite a spiritual month for you. The High Priestess, and then what we mentioned about maybe being really in tune with nature. I think a lot of you are reflecting a lot in this month, having some real progress on your spiritual journey. Really trying to honor your practice in this month, whatever that might be. I also see for a lot of you that September represents kind of the end of a difficult period, especially if this involves a relationship of some kind. It feels as though there is a harmonizing of a relationship, a fresh start, perhaps. If maybe, for example, perhaps you have a partner and you've both struggled to make time for each other recently, or maybe you've gotten very bogged down in the status quo of everyday life and that the spark just hasn't been there. Maybe this is an opportunity to reconnect, do some different things, bring back the spark or the quality time. For some of you, you've been having a real strained relationship with someone. Doesn't have to be romantic when I'm saying relationship. It can be family, it can be friendship, work relationship, and it feels like September offers a fresh start. It also just, like, I'm hearing rebirth, so it feels like a new beginning for you. And that is really interesting because your Halloween witch card, not everyone knows this, but Halloween was actually Celtic New Year's Eve. So the ancient Celts who lived in the British Isles and parts of France, like Brittany, they celebrated New Year on the 1st of November. So Halloween was kind of, or Samhain was integrally connected to this sense of change, transition, death and rebirth, newness. So that might be also why you were drawn to that card. September offering a fresh start for you. Woman holding a heart, number 44. Yeah, so love does seem to be a big theme in this month. And again, love doesn't have to be romantic. You know, if you're sitting there thinking like, that doesn't sound like me, or that doesn't seem to reflect my situation. I do see many of you having, I think for a lot of you, it's more that you're improving an existing relationship. So like a romantic relationship that's become strained, or you've both perhaps been neglecting it, or a non-romantic relationship that has gone through something similar, as opposed to a new relationship. Although some of you, I think, you know, you could be meeting someone new, but I think for many of you, it's about improving a romantic relationship. So the woman holding a heart shows that there is a woman in September in your life. It could be yourself or it could be someone else who is opening up from the heart space, who is willing to connect differently, who is willing to repair a relationship, build a relationship, listen properly, connect from a place of authenticity. Protecting treasure, number 39. So recognizing what has value for you in September and choosing to protect that and honor that as sacred. Not wasting your time with things or perhaps relationships that actually aren't of value. Choosing to focus your limited time and attention and energy on what is most meaningful for you. Strangely lonely, holding on way too tight, number 17. And also Violet Angel, Breaking Dawn, number 23. This fits so well with the Fool. Sense of rebirth, a new dawn, a new day. And the 9 of Wands is quite a lonely card. When you really feel like you're fighting for something by yourself, there's no one else who can or will help you. You've just got to push through. So maybe you have been going through a dark night of the soul or a difficult period, existential crisis, depression, anxiety. Maybe you've just been very busy at work, or your partner has, and that's meant that you haven't had time for each other in the normal way and things have become kind of strained. I'm getting the sense that for some of you, you're looking for community or you're looking for more friends in this month. And it's really a brilliant time to do that. The Violet Angel is showing me that this is a great time to embark upon that. For some of you, it's that you've been feeling unheard, like there aren't people around you that really truly understand your soul, that sort of understand what you're going through, share your belief system perhaps. Many of you looking for like-minded people. This one dropped on the floor. Milk thistle, intrusion. Milk thistle, intrusion. Interesting. Perhaps this is less to do with you intruding on someone else's life and more to do with you letting people in. You know, we've got these themes of like holding on too tight. It's like this cross is in front of her heart space. She's not letting anyone in. Equally here on the protecting treasure, you know, she's curled up in a ball. She's tightly protecting this treasure chest. Doesn't feel like she's open to letting anyone come near it. So this may mean that September represents a time when you are coming round to the idea of letting people in. And, you know, it could be in the broader sense, like I mentioned, with looking for friends, like-minded people, community, or it could be in a very focused way with one particular person, like letting your partner know how you feel. And you might be, you know, stressed to do that or worried about how it will be received when you open up about your true feelings, what you've been going through recently, how their behavior has made you feel, how your own mental health has been. It might be difficult to vocalize that, and some of you might be worried about being judged. Practice gratitude. Last quarter moon in Sagittarius. So remind yourself of the things that you are grateful for, these treasures in your life that you want to protect. Definitely fits well with those of you who are celebrating Mabon, given that is like, no, it's the autumn equinox and it's the time of harvest. I always say that Mabon is kind of like harvest festival crossed with Thanksgiving in terms of the themes that it brings, because it's about recognizing what we have, what we're grateful for, celebrating the basics in life, like good food, like shelter, comfort, nourishment, water, etc. So that might fit into your own practice if you also follow the Wheel of the Year and that's a holiday that you're going to be celebrating. Milestone, number 6. Interesting. This is really interesting because group 1, if I had a key word for group 1's reading, it would be milestone. And I mentioned it a few times. So both you and them are experiencing some kind of milestone in September. For them, it felt more like something they'd been specifically working towards that was like a clear achievement kind of milestone. For you, it feels more like it's a realization kind of milestone, or like a life is changing and that's a good thing kind of milestone. I feel like many of you are really opening up to new connections, trying to welcome new things into your life and routine. You know, maybe this is the first year that you're celebrating a holiday. Maybe you're starting with Mabon if you've just started to follow the Wheel of the Year, or you haven't been in a place previously where you've been able to celebrate it. Or, you know, other kinds of similar things like that where you felt like you've had to suppress your beliefs or your interests or your hobbies, and this is now representing a time when you can fully embody that and live it publicly and celebrate it. That's what I'm feeling. That you stumble across some like-minded people, a group of people that are similar, or you have like a really meaningful conversation with your partner that results in you both walking away feeling like you understand each other better. There's like a awakening, a change in perception. The Ring, number 25, Taurus. Lovely magpie. We have lots of magpies where I live and I'm always watching them out my window. One of my favorite birds. I love their sleek black and white feathers. The Ring also represents value. So there's a lot here to do with your values, the things that you value, the things that you believe. Ring also represents partnership and commitment. Honoring your word, honoring promises you've made to yourself or to others. Could perhaps, like with commitment, you might be finally committing to something, like finally signing up for that class or that event, that group. Maintain focus. Able to stay focused on something throughout the month. I'm wondering if some of you are like going back to school or starting like a course, an educational course, because obviously it's September. This is the time when a lot of people are going back into a formal education setting or starting out there. Maybe some of you are joining like university clubs and societies to do with your interests, and that means that you're meeting some like-minded people perhaps. Obviously it won't apply to everyone, but that thought just came to me. Ooh. Couple of cards here. So we have 4 of Crystals, which is 4 of Pentacles. These cute little gnome children are building a treehouse. As you can see, the gnomes are very special on my channel. They are my lovely guides, lovely earth elementals. They hold space for us to have these beautiful readings. And your other card is Little Red Cap or Little Red Riding Hood, which is the Fool card in this deck. My goodness, group 2. Birds have just started singing outside while I'm saying this. This is a new beginning. Fresh. It's almost like springtime energy. The butterflies, the birds. You're really welcoming in the new. And Four of Pentacles represents the status quo and protecting your energy, protecting what you have. So I think it is really weighing up. Like, I get the sense that many of you are quite private people, group 2, and you don't always feel comfortable with people kind of knowing every facet of you. It's almost like you're comfortable letting certain people see one side of you and then other people seeing another side of you, almost like you like to keep your life quite compartmentalized. So like people that you work with, they see a certain side of you, your family sees another side, friends that you know from this place see another side of you, friends that you know from this other place see a different side, and it's like you just share these different sides. You know, you've got certain interests, and then you've got your professional side, and you've got, you know, your more vulnerable side. You've perhaps got your spiritual side, and it's like people see these different angles of you. And it's like right now you're opening up to allowing people to see a side that you haven't really shown before, that's been kept quite private. So I'm thinking that for many of you, this could be a spiritual thing that you've maybe had. Your spirituality is something quite private or perhaps even unspoken, even to yourself. And this is a time when you are looking for perhaps similar people that you want to share it with. Maybe you're going to go to certain events or places of worship where you can meet similar people, or maybe you just want to feel like you're living more authentically, so you're not going to hide it anymore. You're going to, I don't know, wear jewelry maybe that has certain symbols on that shows what you believe in, even if you're not actively looking to connect with people who believe similar. Maybe you're going to start celebrating, you know, the Wheel of the Year or other holidays connected to whatever you believe in. It's like you just want to, this is a time for rebirth, group 2. You are being reborn. Let's see what your charms and dice have to say. So I'm going to pull from your charm tin first, and then we'll do your dice. Okay, so you have lovely Venus. Venus showing up here. It's interesting because you had Taurus on this card, and Venus and Taurus are very connected. Venus represents love, self-love, self-worth. These are all connected to value as well. Venus rules Taurus and the second house, and that is connected to what we value. So perhaps if group 1's keyword was milestone, your keyword for this month is either value or rebirth, group 2. You've got the shield here, protecting yourself, defending yourself. Snowman, winter time. Maybe you're making plans that for the upcoming winter in September. You have the gingerbread man. Now this one is landing on maintain focus, and that's interesting because the gingerbread man charm is about something that takes a while to complete. You know, like you've got to prepare all the ingredients to make a gingerbread man, then you've got to bake him, and then you also can't eat him straight away. He's got to be left to cool down. It makes me think of just something that takes time, something that doesn't happen overnight. So you're maintaining focus for something longer term in September. You have the attachment charm, feeling attached to someone or something. Maybe something that you can't quite get out of your head. You do have haunted house on strangely lonely. Now, I mean, that's a very, very apt Halloween charm, isn't it? I mean, come on guys, we're in September. We haven't had Mab on yet. Calm down. I completely get how you feel though. But the haunted house is like when you can't stop thinking about something or someone, like something, you can't get it out of your head. It won't let go, holding on far too tightly sort of thing. You're haunted by something. So that could be the attachment, although the attachment is often a positive thing. But just there's possibly something that you can't get out of your head in September. Maybe you are so keen to do something that you're just so focused on it, making plans to make sure that you get it done. Manta ray, go with the flow, move gently through the month. You have the older woman charm. This represents an older woman who is going to be beneficial or helpful to you in this month. This could be literally an older woman, someone who is older than you. They don't have to be old. They don't have to be like your grandma or anything like that, but just someone who is older than you or more experienced than you in a certain matter. So sometimes it's not about physical age, but it's more to do with experience and maturity. Someone who's maybe been through something similar can give you some advice, mentorship, just be a supportive person. And this can also be someone in spirit as well. It can be a passed over loved one or an ancestor, or indeed it can be a deity, an angel, an ascended master. Be very different for everyone. You've also got the baby boy here. This represents immaturity or someone kind of acting childishly. Maybe someone spitting their dummy out. You might have to deal with someone whose behavior is a bit irrational in this month, or that could even be you. You might have like a knee-jerk reaction to something that causes you to behave a bit irrationally. Then you have the acorns. This is lovely because this is like perfect. Not only is it seasonal, you can see I've got my acorns dotted around here, but it also fits so well with the messages that you've had about fresh starts, rebirth. Acorns make me think of potential, which is one of my favorite words. You're just brimming with potential in September, group 2. And you have another very Halloween-y charm, the vampire teeth, you guys. Someone or something that is draining your energy in September. And that really looks like this 9 of Wands situation, doesn't it? Where you're tired and you just want to give up or get to the end of whatever it is that you're doing, but you're able to maintain focus that bit longer throughout September. Pushing through, or maybe it is, maybe it's a situation with your partner for some of you that they've just become a bit of a fun sponge and are just grumpy all the time, and you're feeling fine, but then looking at them gets you down, and you're just like, oh, it's no fun if you're sitting next to someone who's clearly not enjoying themselves or isn't, in a good mood, and that can really bring you down. So maybe that's something that you're dealing with and you're tackling and luckily able to resolve in September. Okay, let's do your dice as well. Okay, so we're going to roll the 7th set of dice. Those ones are the Harry Potter dice. Let me just get them. Okay. And we are rolling 3 of them for you. I think group 1 got 3 as well. Oh, I've just dropped one, apologies. They had a different set though, group 1. Okay, so group 2. Look, what was one of the first things I said? You picked the Halloween witch, and then this high priestess card was the second one. She was wearing a witchy hat. And here you've got just such a hat, the sorting hat. That's so funny, group 2. So the sorting hat is about making choices, having a decision-making hat on, possibly categorizing things. Maybe this goes back to the message we had about compartmentalizing your life. Also, for those of you that are starting back in an educational environment, this happens literally at the start of term, the start of the educational year at Hogwarts, doesn't it? It marks the beginning of the new educational year. So a lot of you are really cognizant of that in September and really feeling that fresh start, and perhaps even feeling a bit of a beginner, a bit of a newbie, maybe a bit shy about mixing in with people. What is this? Oh, we've got the person who is sitting and reading, so studying, focusing on something, learning, upskilling. There's the focus again, being able to focus and get to the end of something. And then Fawkes, the phoenix, rebirth. What was I saying? Group 2, rebirth, alchemy, transformation. Incredible message of just like coming back from the brink. It really feels quite powerful. Group 2, all these messages of rebirth. So I would say your keyword is rebirth for September. I was leaning more towards value earlier, but now I'll say rebirth. This is a time of new beginnings. You're opening yourself up to new energies in your life, whatever that means for you. For a lot of you, I think it means new people, and kind of living more fearlessly, which is really exciting. And yeah, I think be excited for September. Try not to let those apprehensions or those knee-jerk reactions get in the way of you experiencing something joyful and empowering. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope you've enjoyed this. Please do let me know in the comments if it resonated. Please like, share, subscribe if you enjoyed it. It massively helps out my channel, and I really appreciate every single one of you who is subscribed and is a part of this community. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, a great September, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye. Take care. Hi there, Group 3. Welcome to your reading. For those of you who picked number 11, the Wickedest Witch, and the Everyday Witch Tarot, very witchy combination. This one is your general predictions for September. So picking the Wickedest Witch, I'm wondering if maybe some of you are going to have to deal with some difficult or toxic people in September, some spiteful people perhaps. Maybe you might feel pushed to want revenge on someone, or you might feel pushed into like a spiteful knee-jerk reaction possibly. Let's see what your cards have to say. But that's what I'm picking up on from the Wickedest Witch card that you were drawn to. So let's get your tarot cards first. We have oracle cards, charms, dice as always, so plenty to get through. Thank you for being here. Welcome if you're new, welcome back if you are a long-standing subscriber or viewer. And if you enjoy this reading, please do consider subscribing, because it means an awful lot to me and really helps out my channel. We'd love to have you in this community here. Okay. So let's see what tarot cards you have. So the High Priestess, wow. Group 2 had this as their first card as well. And I would say their pile was also quite witchy. Interesting. The Hierophant. Hierophant, Taurus energy. Page of Pentacles, also Taurus and Virgo and Capricorn, all the earth signs. And then 5 of Pentacles. Interesting, interesting. Group 3, I think you are... This month seems to be a spiritual month for a lot of people. Maybe it's the changing seasons and weather. Possibly people spending more time indoors, having more chance for reflection. I also see you really taking care of your health in this month. Like, possibly you've got some stress going on and you want to manage that, or you're having some like physical health issues that you want to manage as best you can. So you're taking all the precautions, you're doing sort of exercises to keep yourself fit and supple. Maybe that also helps your mental health as well. I think that a lot of you are also doing preventative medicine, like maybe you are doing things like drinking ginger tea or lemon tea and things ahead of the seasons getting colder in the Northern Hemisphere. Maybe you're trying to get ahead of any potential colds and things that might be going around. I also see you planning in this month, like you're being quite like forward planning. Action, number 17, yeah. Getting ahead of things definitely seems to be a theme for you in this month. Instead of waiting for things to happen to you, you're preempting them, getting ahead of them. You're very well prepared. Slow and steady, number 12. Slow and steady, and rock bottom, number 10. So yeah, the action doesn't mean that it's going to be like a frenetic, wild, crazy month, because I don't see that at all. I see it as being quite a calm, reflective month, quite a quiet month for you, group 3. So you're taking things calm and slow and steady. I think for some of you, rock bottom is indicating that you've maybe been struggling with stress, or there might be something coming up that causes the sorts of anxieties or mental health difficulties. And for some of you, it is a physical health issue, maybe something that you know flares up when things start to get colder or wetter, for example, and that's why you're trying to take preventative steps. Because I feel for many of you, it's like you're already aware this is likely, so you're getting ahead of it. Maybe you know that you have a particularly stressful, busy time coming up at work, so you're trying to get as much rest and like healthful choices in ahead of that. Or maybe, as I said, you know that you have a health condition that tends to get worse around this time, or you're very susceptible to catching colds and things. There was something else that just popped up that's just evaded me. Oh, that was really pertinent. Oh, yes, it was the seasonal, what's it called? Seasonal affectivity disorder? Is that what it is? SAD, where you feel really, really down about the changing seasons when it gets darker and colder, especially like when you're not getting enough sunlight. I have a sunlight lamp that is an alarm clock, so every morning I wake up to natural light. Absolute life changer. Really, really recommend it, because I'm a very deep sleeper, so I'm always someone who hates alarms because I tend to wake up really groggy from like deep sleep, and it just made me feel completely nauseous to be woken up like that. But the light, the natural light, it starts to come on about 15-20 minutes before your programmed wake up time, and then it wakes me up. And it's just such a natural, gentle way to wake up. It's lovely. So maybe some of you might be looking into things like that, or I think you can buy the lamps that aren't alarm clocks. They're just a lamp, and you can just sit with them and get some sunlight when there isn't any outside. So I see this kind of preventative steps coming in for you in September. Out trick-or-treating, we're here. Number 5, lots of you are really getting excited for Halloween. My goodness. Surprised you didn't pick the Halloween witch, given that you got that card. And lots of you, even if you struggle with the darker, colder, wetter weather, you still love the changing seasons. Maybe you still love autumn for other reasons. Maybe you're also decorating like me. Making plans for Halloween. Chamomile, relax, absolutely. Absolutely. You are making sure that you have lots of relaxing things built into your routine, lots of downtime. You might be prioritizing sleep, nutrition, drinking water. Especially for those of you that live in the UK or other like extreme northwestern Europe, like Scandinavia, for example, really recommend the mouth spray of vitamin D. I always take that. It's really, really helpful. Gives you a boost of energy and, in my opinion, a mood booster as well during the darker months, which unfortunately in Britain are most of the months. So I recommend getting those. You can buy them quite easily online, at least in the UK. I'm not sure elsewhere, but it's just like a little spray. The one that I get is flavored like peppermint, so it's kind of like a mouth spray, but instead of spraying it into your mouth like you would with a normal mouth spray, you're spraying it into like the inside of your cheek, and then you just let it sink in. Try not to swallow for about 30 seconds and just let it sink in. And yeah, it's super easy and a good way to get some extra vitamin D. Apparently it absorbs better that way than if you take it as a pill. So maybe someone needed to hear that recommendation today. First quarter moon in Cancer. Push through any insecurity. Some of you potentially dealing with some self-doubt, some worries. We did mention worry or anxiety earlier in the reading. I think some of you are having to anticipate some kind of work event, like maybe your work's busiest period of the year is coming up, or maybe you have a big event where you're going to need to speak or present, or your work is going to be scrutinized or something. But this card is nice because this kind of says you've got this. And again, it's this very gentle looking, very calm, very peaceful card, which is how I'm sort of seeing your month. It's very reflective, very gentle, very soft. Travel, number 5, maybe planning a trip somewhere. Doesn't need to take place in this month. You could be planning it for the future. But travel is on your mind in September. I've just dropped some cards. Okay, I've got them. Could even be a day trip somewhere. Somewhere you don't usually go, somewhere to get you kind of out of the same four walls. Feelings of excitement. Well, that's nice. Something to look forward to maybe with the travel. Yes, the ship, travel, wow. Number 3, ninth house. Ninth house usually indicates long distance travel as opposed to short haul, so could be planning a big holiday. Ninth house also refers to spirituality and religion, so that's something that seems to be on most people's minds. This month, everyone has had that touch their reading in some form. Ninth house is also philosophy and it's higher education. And this was something that didn't occur to me with group 1's reading, but in group 2, I realized that September for many people is a time of going back to school, going back to or starting some kind of formal education. So that could be what the travel is meaning, that you're going to another city to study, or you're getting used to the new environment that is your new education setting. Really interesting. Preparing to do that travel if you're starting in October. Guardian of Crystals, King of Pentacles. This is Gaia, Earth Goddess. She's shown here as an angel holding the earth. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Again, lots of earth signs watching today. I think that fits so nicely with the theme of taking care of your body, health and relaxation. You can do this, group 3. The overwhelming message that I'm getting for you in September is that yes, you might be fearful, you might be doubtful, you might be anxious, you might be stressed, worried, whatever it might be. There may be butterflies in your tummy, but you can do this. I see positive outcomes for you. You might have a bit of a wobble in between. There might be a real, hard wall that you run up against at some point in September, but you come out of this much stronger. And I think with a clearer sense of who you are and what you're here to do and what your direction should be. I'm often drawn to the fact that the Page of Pentacles in this deck is by a crossroads, and he's got a map in front of him and he's kind of tossing a coin to see which way he's going to go. Lots of you are thinking about the next step, wondering what's my path. And that might apply also in a spiritual context. You're sort of wondering, where do I go from here? What's my next level up on a spiritual level? What's my next teaching that I'm meant to absorb? What should I be focusing on next? What should I be including into my spiritual practice? Perhaps some of you even wondering, how do I even start a spiritual practice? I think all of these kinds of questions are things you're going to be mulling on in September, and by the end of the month you're feeling much more confident in that and in the choices that you either have already made or are making. So let's get your charms and dice on top now. Group 3, we'll start with your charms. I'm going to pull them from this lovely charm tin for those of you that are new. And then just to explain what the dice are, I have 10 packs of dice. Each pack has a different theme. They all have pictures on them. And basically I will roll from one set of those dice after we've got your charms out. And that's a thing that we do in pretty much every reading on this channel. Please do like, share, subscribe if you're enjoying. It means an awful lot to me. Letter E here. That's my name, Emily. But you might have a word that comes to you involving the letter E. It's landing on slow and steady, so that might have some meaning as to what it means. It could be a place, it could be a word, a name, someone's initial. Doesn't have to be something that begins with E either. Just take whatever comes to you with that one. You have just married, which is interesting. Some of you perhaps attending a wedding, or you are deepening in your commitment to a partner. Maybe you're looking for that kind of serious romantic connection. Just married also makes me think of the milestones in life, like the different milestones and rites of passage that we go through. Maybe you're dealing with one of those right now. It doesn't have to be wedding, but just a different type of life milestone. You have the giraffe, looking at the bigger picture, seeing things from a higher perspective, the long-term view rather than the zoomed in short-term view. You also have Pegasus here, lovely Pegasus, divine intervention, healing, creativity, inspiration, all coming to you right now. Pegasus also really connected with healing waters and healing springs. That might be something that resonates with you with regards to your healing practice. Like some of you, as I mentioned, could be drinking like medicinal teas, or maybe you're having some kind of like medicinal or relaxing or restorative bath. I know some people like to use like Epsom salts to relax their muscles. That can be helpful, especially for those of you that struggle with like long-term or chronic conditions. You've got the turtle here, going with the flow. Oh, taking things slowly, not rushing. Then you have the musical symbol. Music, sound healing for some of you. Using sound healing or sound baths. Dancing, singing. Other forms of creativity, perhaps being used as a healing modality. You've got the pumpkin, little blue pumpkin. This is an autumn symbol. I think group 1 got this as well, so lots of you really getting into the autumn mood. For those of you in the southern hemisphere, you can see this as perhaps something is happening or something is affecting you maybe in this month that started or originally happened in the autumn season. Perhaps you're making plans for the next autumn season or plans that affect that season. You've got the binoculars, looking deeply into a situation, introspection, focus, really focusing in on something. Do you get the sense that a lot of you are being quite reflective, quite introspective, thinking a lot about things in this month? You have the haunted house. So funny, on the Halloween trick-or-treating card, you've got the pumpkin and the haunted house. You guys are really in the Halloween mood already in September, which is so funny. We haven't even had Mab on yet, for those of you that follow the Wheel of the Year, so hold your horses a little bit longer. But the haunted house represents something that is haunting you, literally, like when you can't let go of something, or when something just won't seem to leave your mind, like you keep turning it over, the same thing in your mind, or you keep feeling drawn to the same thing. Maybe it's a particular memory or person or idea that you just can't let go of. Something like that is taking hold of you in September. Then you have the paw print, important animals in your life, spirit animals, pets, animal familiars, animals that you see out in nature, but possibly offering you some kind of sign or symbol. Then you have the guardian angel for wealth. The reverse of it is a symbol of an angel there. So, positive messages with regards to wealth, career, and finances for you in September. Maybe there is some kind of assessment or event, as we mentioned, that's coming up, or a busy period at work, and it's very nerve-wracking, but you know, the assessment goes well. That bodes well for you. Maybe you get a great bonus. Equally, maybe the busy period means that you get some kind of bonus payment, or you know, the event goes well, you're now being put up for promotion. It's that kind of thing that I'm seeing for many of you. And you have the anchor on the travel card, which is interesting because you have the ship. Maybe in September you're finding where you want to stop a while, where you want to rest, finding what feels like home. Really, really lovely, group 3. Okay, let's look now at your dice, just to finish up your reading. Okay, this is the 5th set of dice that we're going to be using. Interestingly, those are the actions dice, and you got the action card. Also, just looking at the letter E now, I was thinking of earth, because you got a lot of earth energy in your reading. Obviously, just take these in addition to whatever came to you intuitively. But I always try and call out what catches my attention, what comes to me in a channeled way throughout your reading, just in case it's helpful. Okay, we've got your actions dice. Okay, and we're rolling 6 of these dice for you, group 3. Lovely. Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah, group 3, what did I say about feeling like you're running up against a brick wall at some point? That wall of emotion could be that sense of rock bottom, or just like something that you've got to fight against. Like circumstances just aren't yielding to your willpower in September. This sense of burden, responsibility, busyness, being tasked with lots of things. Fear of crashing and burning. Crash landing. Maybe there is something that happens where like you've got this big event, but the preparation for it goes really badly. So like the event itself goes well, but maybe it's like, you know, when they say like a bad dress rehearsal is a good thing in the theatre, like that's good luck or something, or like a good dress rehearsal is a bad thing. Like they have lots of weird superstitions in the theatre, but it's that kind of feeling where like something happens, and when you practice it, it goes really badly, or your initial preparation for it gets negative feedback or criticism from people at work, and that really stresses you out. But the overall event, when it matters, actually goes well. But the lead up to it is so stressful. You have the person listening to music here looking very, very calm. So I think music and sound are going to be really important to you in this month. You know, we mentioned sound healing. That could be important. It could honestly just be listening to calming music, listening to like ambience videos. I listen to those a lot. ASMR also could be a way of calming yourself. Maybe some of you listen to audiobooks when you're trying to get to sleep, or when you're doing like boring sort of menial tasks, and that's a way of calming you, keeping you focused. Yeah, a lot of you using sound as a healer or a soother in September. You have the two people shaking hands and giving the thumbs up. Partnerships, business partnerships maybe. We mentioned some of you might be getting a bonus or being put up for promotion potentially, getting the green light from someone. Also just married, this could be a romantic partnership, commitment in your relationship. It's also just a sign of support, positive relationships, people being on the same page as you, being on the same wavelength. And then finally, you've got the drying laundry in the sun. This often makes me think of the phrase being hung out to dry, or when you feel like you've been left high and dry. I think a lot of you are feeling as though you have just been left to get on with something in this month. This could be the work event we're talking about. Maybe the preparation or the practice run goes really badly because someone just didn't give you the information you needed, or you had to scramble it all together in your own, like by yourself in a really short period of time because no one was helping you. But then by the time the actual thing happens, it turns out well. Maybe there's just a feeling of like, I'm on my own here, I need to make my own way. Interesting. Okay, group 3, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it was helpful for you. I would say that your key word for September, because I ended up giving the previous 2 readings keywords because there's just such strong themes. Say your key word is healing, especially preventative healing, getting ahead of something before it has a chance to take hold properly. I'd say definitely trust in yourself. I understand the worries, the niggles, the fears, the anxiousness and the restlessness. Just try and breathe through it and trust that you can pull this off, because you absolutely can. Group 3, you really, really can. Lots of feelings here around where is home? Am I finding home? Is this where I belong? I think you're going to figure it out. Maybe not by the end of this month, but I think you're going to figure it out, group 3. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. Thank you so much for being here. Have a lovely rest of your day, group 3. Take care. Have a wonderful September, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.